and I have no intentions of being pacifistic toward you as I was last time. I intend on moving forward and doing the job in a direct and clinical manner.
And you think within 6 rounds?
Yes, I do.
Let's go! And making his entry first, please welcome the one and only Eubank!
Chris Eubank is back for more, only 91 days after that first brutal and draining battle with Thompson. But is this a title fight too far? Is Eubank now entering that dangerous twilight zone where ring-worn fighters delude themselves that they can still cut it? Or will this preening old showman produce a performance to silence those who say that he should quit before he gets hurt? After going 10 years unbeaten, Eubank has now not won a world championship fight since 1994. Glenn, can he buck the trend tonight?
Well, it's a difficult one for him. Obviously, he has a chance because he hurt Thompson time and time again in the last fight. He's going to have to look at his tactics, look what he did wrong. But I'm sure he believes that there is a way to beat him. He knows he can hurt him, and that's a great confidence. Even though he lost the fight mentally, he knows he has the power to upset him, and I'm not sure he did before their first fight, but he knows now. And in it, 4 defeats, he can still make an entrance.
Well, he's always been able to do that, all right. He arrived in the arena tonight carrying a briefcase as if he was going to a cabinet meeting. And apparently in the car on the way to the arena, he was reciting Winston Churchill's speech about fighting them on the beaches. And you know what happens next, I think. Or do you?
Well, I think he did the same last time. That's all changed because of Naz's remarks. So he did it different now.
But he's got more weight these days to hump over that ring rope.
Yes, he
13
does.
stone 9 1/4 at the first time of asking. 1 1/4 over. Now, how do you read that weight?
Well, there's a lot of thought gone under the fact that he's going to try and outbox him, use his speed, fight a different fight. But I think he wouldn't have put the extra weight on if that was a plan. I think you put the extra weight on. You're not looking for speed. You're going to lose a bit of speed, but what you're going to gain is a bit of strength and speed. And I think he wants to stand there. He's going to go for it very early, I think.
And while all that's been going on, Carl Thompson, who is, let's remind you, the world champion, as recognized by the WBO at this weight, though you'd scarcely think it from all the publicity that Eubank has been getting in the build-up. He is waiting to make his entrance. And worth reminding ourselves again that Thompson is the older man at 34, older by 3 years.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring, the WBO Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Carl Thompson!
It's a very pro-Eubank crowd, this.
Yes, I think in his last few fights in defeat, as Ali did when he was defeated, he's gained so much because of that. He showed real spirit and guts, and he showed he wasn't just a showman. He could really dig down and show his character, and I think he's gained so much because of that, Eubank.
Carl Thompson is entering this arena to chants of Eubank, Eubank from the fans. This is his record. Looks like Thompson is delaying his entrance for maximum dramatic effect as well.
Yes, I think he wants to. He's learned a lot over recent fights. He wants to steal the show a bit from Eubank. I think he's been upset. Made a lot of things that gone on, things that Eubank has said. And I spoke to him a few days ago, and he was generally upset by it all. And he had a different sort of intensity about him. He really said he wanted to win. He wanted to win badly, and he was going to stop Eubank. He would stop him this time.
Yes, that's right. Thompson was saying, this time I'll retire Eubank for good. A family man from Bolton, and he looks, doesn't he, genuinely shocked by this cool reception he's getting.
Yes, he does. He's looking around there, and I think, you wonder what's going through his mind. He's the champion, and all of a sudden, he seems to be the villain. And he's got to wonder why. He laid his heart out in that ring as well. He showed immense character.
Yes,
and I think, we have to praise what he went through as well. He was the one that was down. He was hurt, and he come through all of that to win.
Absolutely. Yes, he was part of a really gladiatorial battle in that first savage fight between these two. He's a good fighter, Thompson, as well. Shy, likeable, family man. Very well conditioned. But though he denies it, he was shaken up several times by Eubank's punching in the first fight. If there's a weakness, it may be a questionable resistance to punches. Tail of the tape for this fight, looking like this. Thompson, as I've said, the older man by 3 years at 34. That might surprise some people. Thompson taller too, and with a slight reach advantage down at the bottom there. Eubank made that 13 stone 7 pounds by stripping naked and doing a full Monty in Sheffield at the 3rd time of asking, and with 5 minutes to spare. Eubank, so many more fights, so many more rounds, but Thompson with the higher knockout percentage, though at a lower level usually. Rules: mandatory 8, no standing 8, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop it. The bell will save a fighter only in the last round. The bookmakers make Carl Thompson favourite to retain the title and repeat his victory of 91 days ago. 9-4 on Eubank, 13-8. Fancy the draw? 33-1. They're not exactly giving money away there, are they?
So, ladies and gentlemen, this contest is sanctioned and conducted under the rules of the World Boxing Organization, whose president, Francesco Balcasel of Puerto Rico, is at ringside as supervisor this evening. The British Boxing Board of Control supervisor is their General Secretary, Mr. John Morris from London, and the steward in charge this evening, Mr. Leonard Nipper-Reid, QPM, President of the British Boxing Board of Control. The timekeeper, Mr. Colin Roberts from Halifax, and the judges sat at ringside scoring the contest are Adelaide Triplet of Philadelphia, USA, Mr. Roy Francis from London, and Mr. Ruben Garcia of Texas. And the referee in charge of tonight's action, officiating in his 38th World Title contest from Derby, England, Mr. Paul Thomas. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, from the steel city of Sheffield, England, and Sheffield Arena, to viewers in Britain on Sky Sports, across Europe and around the world, it's big fight time! Frank Warren for Sports Network proudly presents World Championship Boxing and the rematch. Sponsored by Acclaim Entertainments with Turok 2. This contest is of 12 3-minute rounds to decide the WBO Cruiserweight Championship of the world. And introducing the boxers. And firstly, out of the red corner, coming from Brighton, England, wearing his familiar gold trunks, he weighed in at 13 stone 7 pounds and holds a professional record from 51 professional contests of 45 wins, 23 by way of KO, with 4 losses and 2 draws. He's the former middleweight and super middleweight champion of the world, who defended his world title an incredible 17 times, and tonight appears in his 24th World Championship contest. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is the challenger. He's known as simply the best, the one and only Chris Eubank.
Eubank choking with tears of emotion. What do we read into that? I've never seen that before from him.
And ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the blue corner from Manchester, England, wearing the green and yellow trunks, he weighed in at 13 stone 7.5 pounds and holds a professional record of 27 contests, 23 wins, 16 by way of the big KO, with 4 losses. Tonight he is appearing in his 4th World Championship contest and making the 2nd defense of his title. Presenting the WBO Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Carl the Cat Thompson. And our man from the neutral corner, Mr. Paul Thomas, will now give his instructions to both boxers.
Well, what do we read into Eubank's tears? Does he think this is his last fight? What do you think, Glenn?
I don't know. Maybe that could be the realization of what this is going to be. The last fight must have took so much out of both these. Who is it took the most out of? You know, is this a signal that it's took an awful lot mentally as well as physically out of Eubank?
They're doing this very quickly again, considering just what a punishing affair the first fight was between them. It's maybe too quick, to be perfectly honest with you. You don't really need the identification, but Eubank, of course, in the yellow trunks, as always. How will it pan out this time? In the first fight, Eubank made a sharp start and straight away finds a right hand.
Well, I do expect him to try and overwhelm Thompson. I think that's his best chance. If he can really rush him early, try and catch him.
Most people have been saying this one will either be Eubank early or Thompson late.
Well, I spoke to Eubank privately, and he said that himself. He admitted it, that his best chance was early. He had to try and go out all guns blazing, or he readily admitted that Thompson would probably be too strong for him in the late rounds.
Eubank knows he has the punch power to trouble Thompson. He had him going several times in the first fight, but could never finish the job, and ended up, of course, paying for it on the scorecards at the end.
But interestingly, Ian, we talked to Dennis Andrews, and he was very confident about Chris Eubank this time. He thought he'd stop Thompson.
Dennis Andrews, who's been working with Chris Eubank in recent fights. Eubank caught with a right hand there, a little bit careless of him. That's not like him. He'll know that that was a mistake, and the perfectionist inside him will be telling himself off, so to speak.
Well, in the early days, he could go on a little walkabout. He had the speed and reflexes to do that. These days, it's much more difficult to get away with anything like that.
Eubank, remember, heaviest ever here tonight. Looking as big as you can ever remember seeing him. Even bulky, built for strength. And maybe even a little extra power, who knows? Less flashy, but just works away methodically, and more the natural cruiserweight. Remember, Eubank started at 11 stone 6 middleweight.
Well, Eubank came out very fast, but Thompson kept with him. He looks very focused. He realized that Eubank would probably try and come out and have a big start, and he really wanted to be all business this time. They talked about last time he touched gloves between rounds. Billy Graham didn't want none of that. He wanted him to be really ruthless.
Eubank started the round fast, looking to end it quickly too. He knows what the 3 minutes is. Every boxer has that imprinted in his brain. All training geared to that 3 minutes. Welcome back live to the Sheffield Arena. Chris Eubank. Did he do enough to win that opening round? What do you think, Glenn?
Well, I thought they both had good little spells. Eubank, very early in the round, he'd come out, threw some good punches. We see he's ready for it, Thompson. He's keeping his guard up, but he also got caught off a few as well, and Thompson had a couple of good spells. An even round for me.
Second round, Eubank in his 24th world title fight tonight, a British record. It's the 4th for Carl Thompson. Sometimes the rematches aren't as good as the original, and the rematch that Eubank had in Manchester with Nigel Benn comes to mind there. Could never have been as good as the first fight. Can they recreate the drama here?
It would be hard to get a similar sort of fight, you must think, but these are two very, very proud men. Both had very different backgrounds. That was a good punch from Eubank, just seemed to stagger Thompson.
It's not half bad so far. Eubank will be worried, of course, about that left eye, which swelled up grotesquely. He's caught Thompson again there. Thompson's defences looking a little leaky. Eubank very effective with that right uppercut and trying to slip a little more maybe than he did in the first fight.
It's also he's trying to reserve energy. He's staying in close. He's just trying to use head movement, keep his strength. Much more movement from Eubank in the first fight.
Eubank knows he can't afford another defeat here. He's lost 4 world title fights in a row now. 2 against Steve Collins, 1 against Joe Calzaghe when he fought pretty brilliantly, I thought, even in defeat. And of course against Thompson when he put up a terrific effort too. But he needs a win. Thompson will be determined though to stay in the big league and get the money that he can from holding on to this WBO Cruiserweight Championship.
Heavy right hand from Thompson there, but Eubank's had some good flurries landing in this round. He's looked fast.
Just as in the first fight, Eubank looking the faster and sharper early on. But what happened in that first fight was that in the end, Thompson wore him down and got to him in the late rounds.
Come out, no shots.
Very busy in this second round, Eubank. Thompson having to take quite a bit. Big body shot, though, from Thompson. It's the sort of thing he'll be looking for, and a good jab on the bell, but Eubank's round. Welcome back. Good second round for Chris Eubank, and it's a funny thing, since he's been losing, his popularity seems to be greater than it ever was all the time he was a champion.
That's right, he was always seen as a villain. Now something in defeat, something of a hero.
Billy Graham doing the talking to Carl Thompson in the other corner, and Chris Eubank with Ernie Fossey, the excellent cutsman, in his corner for the very first time tonight. He's been in the opposite corner a couple of times when Eubank has been beaten.
Well, he finished the last fight with a very swollen eye, and I think, you know, there's precautions there. Maybe, you know, just danger and doubt that it may also swell up, or worse, he may get a cut.
That was the kind of punch too that could cause the eye to swell up. That stiff left jab. Thompson might even be looking for that. Must be a little bit of scar tissue there, you'd feel.
Looking strong, pushing Eubank on the back foot.
This is a recreation of what we saw in the later rounds of the first fight, with Eubank with his back to the ropes and Thompson leaning on with his strength and thumping home these punches. Eubank really needs to get out of there.
Good right hand there from Eubank, straight through the guard of Thompson.
But this is more Thompson's kind of fight. Trapped in the corner like that, though. Eubank is dangerous with counter punches, always has been.
Yes, I think the heavier single punch maybe Thompson, but Eubank has more effect when he puts them together.
By the way, the judges tonight, 2 American judges, one of them a woman judge, and from Britain, Roy Francis, who refereed the first fight. Paul Thomas from Derby refereeing this one.
Well, in this round, they didn't need a ring as big as it is. Good right hands from Eubank.
2 rights from him, then 1 back from Thompson. It's just like the first fight, neither of them prepared to surrender any kind of initiative at all. And there's been a bit of bad blood between them in the build-up to this one. They refused to shake hands at the press conference on Thursday.
Well, it looks as if it could be every bit as good as the last one. Certainly, these opening rounds are being like that, very intense, very physical.
And might do it all over again.
Well, any thought that Eubank was going to box and be careful has gone out of anybody's mind. This is physical and big punches.
Look at the two of them exchanging the shots here. It's as we thought. Eubank really too big now and too heavy to get on his toes and dance. Not that that was really ever his game anyway. Big jabs from both of them. Some blood by the mouth of Thompson. What a fight, what a round.
On the top of your head here still go, I promise. We'll get you.
Ernie Fossey chatting away to Eubank in the corner. It's a good presence for him to have there, isn't it, tonight?
It's very experienced, Ernie Fossey, and very calm and influenced, but he knows exactly what to say. He's asking for more jabs from Eubank.
Look at that. Only 3 punches in it, according to the computer, on punches landed so far.
Well, neither man's really got on top as yet. Both had good spells, and on my corner I've still got this very poised level.
I have Eubank just in front. You'd say 2 of those first 3 rounds would be quite tough to score. I think Eubank definitely won the second. Good shot from him there. Found a little left hook come uppercut on the inside, then followed it with the stiff jab too.
Well, that was the jab that Ernie Fossey asked for, and it worked very well there. I think Eubank's got to try and conserve energy in the early part of the fight, and that's why there's not as much foot movement. He's going to try and stay in close and use better head movement.
Yes, he has to last home this time. He did get to the final bell last time, but he was wilting in most of the late rounds and laying around on the ropes. I think that's what cost him it, because he certainly dominated the first half of the fight. And just the impression here that Eubank is faster, doing more and sharper with his punches.
Well, he's doing more, he's getting off quicker, but Thompson's boxing better than he did in the early part of this fight than he did in the last fight. He's pushing it more. Maybe his plan is to really push it right from the start, make him work hard right from the start, and hope that he'll tire much earlier.
Furious barrage here from Eubank. He's got Thompson going, his legs stiffened there, but he didn't go down from the right hand, and look at Thompson come back. Terrific action there. Eubank insists that this time he will not stand off as he did in the first fight if he gets his man going. Oh, that was a huge left from Eubank. And a right hand. Goodness me, it can't go 12 rounds like this again, can it?
You wouldn't think so. I think a lot of people think it's going to land inside the distance. Thompson took some good ones to come back with a good right and left.
You feel that something has to give somewhere along the way this time. Keep asking, is the fight too soon? And is it a fight too far for Eubank? But how much did the first one take out of Thompson too? I mean, what a tribute to the conditioning of these guys, that they can come back 91 days later and do this sort of thing again.
It's remarkable, how they must have worked over the years to get their body in this sort of condition and to be able to work the way they are.
Eubank, remember, was in hospital for 2 days after the first fight, mainly precautionary, just while that eye swelling went down. It's a great fight again. Well, we've had 4 rounds of this, a third of the way through if it goes the distance. That was a pretty good round for Eubank, that last one.
It was a good one. He landed with a very good punch. It just seemed to hurt Thompson. There's that right hand going in. Always when he puts his punches together in a cluster, that's where he looks dangerous, Eubank.
Ian Dark and Glenn McCrory with you at ringside at the Sheffield Arena. This is the 5th round, due to go 12. At stake, the World Cruiserweight Championship as recognized by the World Boxing Organization.
I think it's important for Eubank to use the jab more. I think that is just what he needs to keep Thompson off balance. That's how I've got it. Just Eubank with the last round, winning that, just edging it.
Can Eubank sustain this level of performance through 12 rounds, though, after a career which has spanned nearly 400 rounds over 13 years?
Well, I think in every fighter's life there's a time where it all just becomes too much time. Everything catches up with you. And, you know, we've wondered in several fights, is it going to be the end for Eubank? But he keeps rebounding back and putting up these terrific fights.
Well, I'd say he's provided more excitement in the last couple of years than probably in the rest of his career put together. And that is remembering the great fight he had with Nigel Benn and the second ultimately tragic one with Michael Watson.
Nice uppercut and right hand inside, but Thompson comes punching back.
Little right cross, short punch Thompson. And uppercut too. Who gives way first? Those are good body shots from Thompson. That body punch, the left hand, drove Eubank back into the ropes. The sheer force of it.
Just a stumble there, just lost his footing. Good jab from Eubank. He lands that punch very well.
You do get the impression, though, that Thompson will just carry on like this, working away for the whole 12 rounds, and you wonder whether Eubank can do that this late in his career. Well, here's his answer for the moment, those chopping right hands. But he has to keep Thompson away from him, you feel.
Well, I think Thompson seems more focused to the task in this fight. He's keeping good pressure on Eubank.
Well, it's another excellent contest. Eubank, as always, milking the crowd for all he's worth. I was worried about him before the fight. Those tears, I'd never seen anything like that from him.
No, that was very strange. The emotion just got to him there for a second. It is a very emotional time.
Dennis Andrews, the former world light heavyweight champion, in the corner for Chris Eubank, with Ernie Fossey doing the talking there.
But the pressure from Thompson is relentless. He looks strong. He's really taking it to Eubank. He's going to test everything, all his heart and character all over again. Good body shots there.
That was the one that made him give ground for about 2 paces.
Yep.
Eubank that left. Here's the 6th round. This is the round that Eubank predicts that he will win in. You'd be a bit surprised, as Thompson looked to be just coming on strong a bit in that 5th round.
Another very good jab.
Oh, that's a great right hand from Eubank. Oh, and the uppercut is an absolute stunner. Thompson covers up, soaks it up, absorbs it. How did he do that? And then comes back to throw punches of his own. It was a tremendous uppercut from Eubank.
Well, he really found the right punch there, just as Thompson was leaning forward, whipped up an uppercut, and then another punch following that. He looked in trouble for a second there, Thompson, but then quickly just resumed pushing forward, trying to get his own punches off.
Whatever they're paying these two, it's not enough.
But it's just a mark of these two fighters, their immense pride. Both very different personalities, very different characters, but it all means so very much to them.
spot a little bit of swelling by that left eye of Eubank again. And is there a bit of blood, I wonder? Now, that might be a problem. Are we having a carbon copy here of fight one between these two?
Some good punches going in from Eubank.
He's come back well in this 6th round.
And I think the body punching of Thompson is having an effect on Eubank.
You just wonder if the ultimate effect of that will be to take Eubank's legs away. That eye is swelling up. It's a problem. The left eye again. But it's not stopping him seeing his way to throwing a right hand like that.
And that was a tremendous right hand. Well, we didn't think they could do it again. Tremendous ferocity in the last fight, and it's all exactly the same, just picking up where they left off.
Oh, again, Eubank has found some big shots in this round, but he cannot break Thompson's will or spirit or resistance. This is a tough, very well-conditioned and underrated fighter, this Carl Thompson. Never ever question the heart of these two fighters ever again, even if you were going to do that. Well, watching with us is a man who hopes to fight the winner of this, Sheffield's Johnny Nelson, who's had a victory tonight. Johnny, what a fight again.
Again, you know, Chris has now got a game plan and he's sticking well to it. You know, he's outboxing Carl and he's making Carl work. He's trying to rope-a-dope. In the earlier fight, Carl didn't work as hard, he didn't work as much, and you see he slips in 1 or 2 quick shots to make sure he steals each round, and he'll keep doing it all the way to the 12th round.
The eyes are worried, though, for Eubank, isn't it, Johnny?
Yeah, of course, you know, but this time he's trying to make sure Carl exerts just as much energy as he's doing, and he's doing an excellent job.
Eubank winning for you?
Eubank's winning, but Carl's recovery is excellent after hard shots when he's been hurt.
Thanks a lot, Johnny. Johnny Nelson, the #1 contender for this title, hopes to be in with the winner. They might need a good rest after this, mind you. Having said that, we said that the first time, and here we are again 3 months later. It's unbelievable, really. Here's round 7. The green trunks of the defending champion Carl Thompson from Manchester. The yellow, of course, of Chris Eubank.
Again, some success with the uppercut, but he's been forced to fight. Thompson putting good pressure on Eubank here, pinning him on the ropes.
Eubank will be glad that he has the experience of Ernie Fossey, the cut man, in his corner. Maybe he will be able to keep that swelling from becoming too big a factor.
Eubank just moving ahead again, just by 1 point.
On your scorecard?
On my scorecard.
I've got it a little wider for Eubank at the moment.
Well, I like the constant pressure from Thompson. He's working a lot. Eubank getting the more eye-catching punches, but Thompson just keeping that steady pressure, answering everything.
Oh, what a big left hook, and again, and the leg splay of Thompson. Can Eubank get there this time? How does he stay up from them?
Well, he heard Thompson there, and he was quick to react, but the opportunity didn't come to get another shot in.
Remember, Chris Eubank himself has never been stopped in his 13-year career, and this is the 52nd fight. But I have to apologise to Carl Thompson. We questioned his punch resistance. Goodness me, he's shown some here.
Punches from Eubank, but Thompson just resumes marching forward, landing with more punches. He's just working steadily, and this is the way to try and wear Eubank down.
Eubank's covering up quite well. They're a lot hitting the gloves. That one didn't, the right cross. Oh, and neither did that second one from Thompson. Gloves again. Interesting to just look at it closely. You have to, the judges will, trying to see what's landing.
They hit the gloves, but there's still an effective force that goes through the gloves. It doesn't just dampen everything, and he's still landing the eye. A lot worse now.
It's almost closed. This is very bad news for Eubank. He had to fight the last 7 rounds of the first fight, basically with one eye, and it's happened again to him, and he's shaking his head. Ernie Fossey gets him back to the corner, a worried look even on his face. What can they do about this? Paul Thomas, the referee's having a look at it. It's bad again.
It's bad, it's early, and I think they're going to have to be careful with that. I'm not sure they'll be so lenient with such a bad eye. Still a lot of rounds to go.
It's a great pity, really, isn't it, in terms of the actual contest, that one fighter has to get handicapped like that again when it's well, such another ding-dong battle.
Yes, it is a shame, but that is what the business is about.
Sure.
When fighters do get injured, I mean, they're hitting each other.
8th round.
I think Eubank may go out and try and do something spectacular. I think he'll feel it's very bad. He probably won't be able to go on for a lot of rounds with that sort of damage.
Yes, there are still 5 left. Ooh, big right hand at Thompson. In this cruel, hard business, will make that a target now. Does raise the question of whether Eubank has come back too soon after the first one and not really given the eye a proper amount of time to heal.
Yes, we saw the interviews and press conferences on the fight, and they were still marking. Just up until a week or so ago, he still had little bits of mark under that eye.
Looking around Eubank to somebody at ringside. How can he do that in a battle of this intensity? It's astonishing. He never stops amazing us.
Well, he may be looking at it. Often fighters do that just to distract the attention of their opponent.
Still this relentlessness about Thompson, who's relatively unmarked and still looks strong. And Eubank must be thinking, I've hit him with so many good shots, but he's still there and he's still coming at me.
Yes, it's good pressure from Thompson. He's just keeping to his task, just coming forward.
Whoa, 3-punch combination from Eubank was classic. He might only have one eye now, but still competitive. I think what Eubank will have to be careful of is, with that injury and the referee looking at it closely, that if Thompson does get through with a lot of unanswered punches, there is the danger that the referee could step in, bearing in mind the kind of sensitivity about safety in the sport.
Good uppercut from Thompson there. That just hurt Eubank. Yes, I think that is a point that he can't afford to let Thompson throw unanswered punches for a while with the injury. Certainly it gives the referee the excuse to pull Eubank out. So Eubank has to be competitive.
And he certainly is that still. Thompson driving a couple of punches through there. This must just sap the desire of Eubank a little bit, having to fight with the handicap. But look at this. Look at this. These are remarkable men. Eubank wanders off to the wrong corner. No, he doesn't. He's just playing with the crowd again. No disorientation there. Ernie Fossey will be furious. He'll want him back there quick to work on that eye.
That's right. He needs every second to apply the ice and pressure and just try and crush the swelling away. Stats showing that Thompson landing the more punches. Eubank still the more spectacular punches, but Thompson just doing more of it. It's constant pressure. It's got to be hard for Eubank.
He's asking for them to slap him.
Well, he's done that before. Ronnie Davis gave him a few good slaps in his time. He's trying to get angry. He's trying to psych himself up.
Well, incredible insight there, really, into the hard business of a corner, a big fight corner at work. It's almost as if Eubank was urging them to kind of gee him up even more, to drive him through this.
He's trying to drag up something extra from inside himself.
I think Eubank might wake up in hospital again tomorrow morning with that eye injury. It's quite grotesque. Blood from the mouth of Thompson. First sign of damage that we can see for him. That's Glenn's scorecard. He's got Thompson ahead for the first time.
Maybe it's just a turning point in the fight. Thompson looking stronger. Eubank with that damage to the eye.
Oh, the right cross getting in from Thompson. It's bizarre, really. It's almost a carbon copy, isn't it, of the first fight?
Almost exactly, and we didn't think they could have this sort of ferocity and intensity, but they have. They've dragged it up again.
And whatever happens from here on, the little series between these two will go down in British boxing folklore. Not much coming back from Eubank for the moment. The referee taking a closer look. Thompson getting through with some clubbing right hands, and Eubank has to throw something back, and he does. Oh, look at how he does. Overhand right, but Thompson eats that up again and marauds forward once more.
Well, I don't know if there's even more venom in this fight than there was in the last one, if that's possible.
Well, you almost run out of superlatives to describe the kind of courage and bravery and character that's on display in there now. The first time they fought each other to a standstill, and it may be the same again. Last few seconds of the 9th round.
Thompson coming on stronger and stronger, looking harder in there for Eubank.
And Thompson's winning the rounds now.
There's a big right hand from Thompson. Got to be causing more damage to that eye. But Eubank dragged it up again. Thompson just looks stronger. He's putting more intensity into his work. Eubank courageously trying to fight back. A good overhand right. But Thompson recovered very quickly there and straight back with his own punches.
The impression here is that Thompson is winning the fight. And once or twice in that last round, you felt as though he was close to a stoppage. But the scorecards... Now, are they going to pull Eubank out here? What's happening? There's a big discussion going on.
Well, it looks as if the doctor's been in
looking at it. It is stopped. It is over. Eubank has been stopped for the first time in his career. And Carl Thompson has retained the title after another savage battle here in Sheffield. The eye damage was too much. And Chris Eubank, after 13 years and 52 fights, is at the end of an era for British boxing here. He's thrilled us and entertained us. Sometimes he's bored us silly, but he's always been used, a genuine star. But that might be the last we see of him.
It may well be. We've said that a few times recently, but this time he's been stopped. It will be very hard for his pride to take that. He tried so terribly well, but it was terrific pressure from Thompson. He just wouldn't give Eubank a time, and then just kept pushing on and pushing on. And your congratulations to Thompson. He worked so well, an unassuming sort of man, but he showed how much he wanted to win in the fight.
Yes, let's give generous tribute to Carl Thompson. He doesn't get the publicity. He was angered by the lack of recognition, but how he's shown his characters and his quality in both of these fights with Eubank. And I think those two fights are going to make his name. They should do if there's any justice.
Yes, they should do. He's very upset at the stoppage. It's all just coming down to him. What's happening? It's all gone and finished for him in this fight.
Let me tell you something. At the point that the fight was stopped, Eubank was ahead by 3 points on 2 of the scorecards, and it was level on the other one of the British judge Roy Francis, and I had Eubank ahead as well at that point.
You know, I would know whether it was severely hurt, but it's not. It's just a black eye, and you know, all the plans in the world. But there you go. You win some, you lose some. Something to win one these days, but well, nothing like a try-up, I suppose. You'll find a way. It's just a matter of time, yeah?
Didn't do nothing.
Well, that didn't sound like a retirement speech, did it?
You know the way I feel. In regards to you, so I'll see when I get home tomorrow. Sebastian, if you're watching, happy birthday. Sorry I couldn't get it for you, boy, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
Chris, what happens now?
Sit down and think. That's it. You don't know. You're going to sit down and think. Don't start saying.
You mean I had a dirty nose of Vaseline and you didn't tell me? I was talking to my wife. You know, where's the romance in the world? Where's the, well, the gentleman conduct? That's a bit out of order. What next?
Ladies and gentlemen, at the start of round 10, after consultation with the doctor at ringside, the referee stops the contest. Chris Eubank having sustained a badly damaged left eye. The winner and still Cruiserweight champion of the world, Carl Thompson! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'd like to show your appreciation for a very, very disappointed loser indeed, a very game boxer, Chris Eubank!
Well, what we can gather there is that Eubank is going to go away and consider his future, but of immediate interest to both after 2 magnificent individual displays. The first big talking point here is we understand that Eubank was ahead on 2 of the judges' scorecards. Does Carl Thompson know that yet? It doesn't matter. Thompson retains his title belt. And Thompson, if anything, performed even better than last time out. Barry, your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely thought Thompson was more controlled, more composed, applied steady pressure through more accurate punches and hit the body a lot, as well as bruising Eubank, you know, terribly around his left eye, and the whole side of his face is swollen up. And the referee made the referee, in conjunction with the doctor, made a very sensible and wise decision to retire Eubank, because you know, he's too brave for his own good, Chris Eubank. There's no question about that. And you know, let's see tomorrow what he'll decide to do. The judges, I felt, were a bit unfair to the champion. I had the champion 1 round up at that stage. Close fight, but still had the champion ahead. I actually agreed with Glenn on this occasion, but there you go.
Thank you, Barry. While the loser goes away, Let's get a word with the winner, and still